Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Hub, coming to you from sunny Los Angeles. Well, actually, not that sunny today. Autumn is here, summer has officially packed its suitcase and left.
Yeah, it's like the weather said, okay guys, that's enough fun, put away your shorts, time for sweaters and pumpkin spice.
Oh, I don't mind. Sweater weather means cozy evenings, Netflix, pizza deliveries, basically my dream lifestyle.
And yoga, warm tea, and a blanket for me. David, we are so different.
That's why this podcast works, Jess. You bring the green smoothies, and I bring the double cheeseburgers. Together, we balance out the universe.
Exactly. And speaking of balance, we should probably mention our dear David just had his birthday party.
Yes, it was epic. Friends, music, cake. My dog tried to eat part of the cake, but hey, that's life.
And I was there too. I survived an evening of pizza, fast food, and your Netflix-style playlist. It was fun though, I'll admit.
Jess, you danced like nobody was watching. Well, except my Labrador. He was watching, judging.
Okay. Let's not tell people too much or they'll think we're running a comedy show instead of an English podcast.
Why not both?
Fair point. Anyway, dear listeners, grab a cup of coffee, tea, or maybe hot chocolate. This is not a school lesson, so don't stress. You can listen while cooking, cleaning, or even falling asleep. Just relax and join us.
Because today, we are talking about one of my favorite things, traveling to other countries.
Yes! We'll explore how to travel abroad smartly, affordably, and safely. And don't worry, we'll keep it fun and friendly with plenty of jokes along the way.
Quick fact to start with, did you know the shortest international flight in the world is just 8 minutes?
What? That's shorter than waiting for a bus here in LA.
Exactly. Imagine, by the time you buckle your seatbelt, you're already landing.
Well, that's one way to avoid jet lag.
So today, we'll share stories, tips, and maybe even embarrassing travel moments. Spoiler, I have a few.
Oh, I know you do.
Let's get started.
So let's start with the big question. Why travel abroad? Why leave your comfy sofa, your favorite pizza place, your dog or cat, and go somewhere else?
Wait. Are you suggesting there's something better than Netflix, pizza, and my Labrador?
Yes, David, it's called the world. Seriously, though, one of the biggest benefits of traveling abroad is cultural exposure. You get to see how people live, eat, work, and even relax in totally different ways.
That's true. Like, I remember going to Italy once, and people there don't just drink coffee, they worship it. A tiny espresso can feel like a spiritual experience. Meanwhile, in LA, my coffee is basically the size of a swimming pool.
Exactly. You see those differences and it opens your mind. You realize there isn't just one way to live life.
And it's not only about culture. Traveling abroad also brings new experiences. For example, the first time I tried sushi in Japan, I was like, wait a second, this fish is raw? Where's the barbecue sauce? But then I loved it.
See, that's personal growth right there. You tried something new, stepped out of your comfort zone, and discovered you liked it. That's one of the coolest parts of traveling. You become braver, more flexible, and sometimes more patient.
Patient? Oh, yeah, like when your flight gets delayed for 6 hours. Nothing grows your character like sitting in an airport trying to sleep on a chair that hates you.
Yes, exactly. Travel teaches patience and also how to sleep anywhere. Airports, trains, buses, even on your neighbor's shoulder, if you're lucky.
So, Jess, what's your personal reason for traveling?
For me, it's curiosity. I love discovering how people live in different places. I like tasting local food, seeing new architecture, and meeting people. It's like collecting little pieces of the world in your memory.
That's beautiful. For me, I think it's about stories. Every trip gives me stories to tell, sometimes funny, sometimes embarrassing. Like the time in France, I accidentally ordered a giant plate of snails because I thought it was pasta.
Oh no!
And did I eat them? Of course, when in France, right? And honestly, not bad. But let's just say, not my first choice for fast food.
See, that's what traveling does. It gives you memories you'll laugh about for years.
Exactly. So if anyone asks, why travel abroad? The answer is simple. It makes your life bigger, funnier, and definitely tastier.
Okay, so we know why traveling is amazing, but here comes the hard part. Where should you actually go? Choosing the destination can feel like standing in front of Netflix for 40 minutes and then not watching anything.
Oh yes, that's my specialty. I spend so much time scrolling through countries I could have already flown there by the time I decide.
Exactly. But seriously, there are a few things to consider: budget, interests, safety, and visas.
Let's start with budget. If you've got a luxury budget like, me sometimes,
Here we go. Mr. Business Lifestyle.
hey, I'm just saying, if you can, you go for the Maldives, five-star hotels, infinity pools. But if your wallet is on a diet, you can still travel. Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, South America, you can live like a king with just a backpack and a good plan.
Yes! Some of my best trips were budget ones. You don't always need luxury. Sometimes staying in a simple guest house or even using hostels gives you the real travel experience, and you meet amazing people.
True. Although, I don't think my Labrador would survive in a hostel. He's too used to the good life.
Same for your car, David. That car deserves its own luxury suite.
Touché. Okay, second point. Interests. Are you a beach person, a mountain hiker, a museum lover, or a just give me food traveler?
I'm definitely the culture and food type. I'll spend hours exploring local markets, trying new dishes, or going to a museum. What about you?
Food. Definitely food. And maybe some sightseeing in between meals.
Then comes safety. Not every place is safe for travelers, especially if you're going solo. Always check travel advisories, talk to people who've been there, and trust your instincts.
Right. I once went to a place where my phone had no signal, no Wi-Fi, nothing. I felt like I had traveled back to the Stone Age.
That's called a vacation, David. But yes, do your research.
And don't forget visas. Sometimes you think, oh, cool, I'll go there next week. And then you find out the visa process takes 3 months and 100 forms.
Yes, that's why planning ahead is important.
So how do you even start choosing? My trick is travel blogs. I just type top 10 places to visit this year, and suddenly I'm ready to quit my job and go.
For me, social media works. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. People share amazing hidden gems. But you have to be careful because sometimes the picture is more beautiful than the reality.
Right, like when you see a waterfall on Instagram with 0 people, and then in reality it's like a rock concert with 500 tourists.
Exactly. That's why I also trust travel guides and local insights. Talking to people who live there or travelers who just came back gives you the real picture.
So, the golden rule, mix research with your heart. Use blogs, social media, guides, and advice. But also choose what feels exciting for you.
Yes, travel is personal. The best destination is the one that fits your dreams, your budget, and your comfort level.
And your stomach. Let's be honest.
Always the stomach.
Of course. All right, let's talk about something important. Money. Because unless you're a billionaire, you've got to think about budgeting when you travel.
Yes, and even billionaires should be smart with money. Though, David, with your car and your pizza deliveries, people might think you are one.
I wish, but honestly, I do love finding travel hacks. First, flights. If you book early, you usually save. And if you're flexible with dates, even better. Like flying on a Tuesday can be half the price of a Friday.
True. And there are websites and apps that help you find the cheapest flights. Plus, always check if flying to a nearby airport is cheaper. Sometimes it's worth landing in a smaller city and then taking a train or bus.
Good point. But careful, you don't want to land near Paris and find out you're actually in Belgium.
Exactly. Next, accommodation. You don't have to stay in expensive hotels. Hostels are cheap and they're great if you want to meet people. Airbnb can be good if you're staying longer or traveling with friends. And of course, hotels are comfortable, but usually pricier.
I tried a hostel once. Let's just say I'm more of a private bathroom kind of guy.
Yeah, I could imagine. But honestly, there are so many options now. Even couch surfing, staying at someone's house for free. Though that one's not for everyone.
Not for me. If I tried couch surfing, my Labrador would immediately steal the couch.
Okay, then let's move to daily expenses. Food, transport, and sightseeing.
For food, my advice, eat local. Street food is often cheaper and tastier than fancy restaurants. Plus, it's part of the culture.
Yes, and supermarkets are your friend. Buying snacks, water, or even breakfast from a store saves a lot of money.
Transport is another big one. Skip taxis if possible. Use buses, trains, or even bikes. Unless you're like Jess and love buses.
Guilty, but hey, public transportation is cheaper, better for the environment, and you see more of local life.
True. And sightseeing. Many cities have free walking tours. You just tip the guide what you can afford. Museums often have free days, so check before you go.
Exactly. Planning ahead is key. If you know your daily budget, let's say $50 for food, transport, and fun, you won't suddenly realize you spent $200 on souvenirs shaped like Eiffel Towers.
Hey, don't judge my souvenir collection.
I'm not judging, just saying budgeting keeps you stress-free. Travel is more fun when your wallet isn't crying.
Yes, a happy wallet equals a happy traveler.
Exactly. Okay, so we've talked about budgeting, flights, and food, but let's get serious for a moment. Visas and travel documents.
Yes, the not-so-glamorous side of traveling. Nobody posts Instagram selfies with their visa application.
Right, but honestly, your passport, visa, and insurance are the three things that can make or break your trip. No passport equals no plane.
Exactly, and always check the expiration date. I had a friend who showed up at the airport and discovered his passport had expired 2 months ago. The only trip he took was back home in a taxi.
Oh no! Yes, many countries require your passport to be valid for at least 6 months after your trip. So even if it looks fine, double check.
Now visas, some are easy, some are like applying for a secret agent job.
True. For example, the Schengen visa in Europe lets you visit 27 countries with just one visa. Super convenient.
Yeah, but don't overstay it, because if you do, you might get a permanent "do not enter" stamp in your travel history.
Exactly. Always know the rules, how many days you can stay, and whether you need a single entry or multiple entry visa.
And don't forget travel insurance. It might feel boring, but it can save you a fortune if you get sick, lose your luggage, or accidentally eat a suspicious street taco.
Yes, think of insurance as a seatbelt. You hope you never need it, but when you do, you're very happy it's there.
Another tip, make copies of everything. Passport, visa, insurance papers. Keep one copy in your bag and one digital copy online.
That way, if you lose your documents, you're not completely lost. And always know where your embassy or consulate is, just in case.
Good advice, because as fun as travel is, sometimes things go wrong. Being prepared keeps the stress down.
Yes, so to sum up, passport valid, visa ready, insurance bought, copies made. Then, and only then, you can focus on the fun stuff.
And the food. Always the food.
Of course. Okay, so you've got your ticket, your documents, your budget, but now comes one of the trickiest parts, cultural awareness.
Yeah, because what's polite in one country can be super rude in another. And trust me, you don't want to be that tourist.
Exactly. Like greetings. Did you know in France, people kiss on the cheeks? Sometimes two, sometimes three, sometimes four, depending on the region?
4 kisses? By the time you finish greeting everyone, the party is already over.
True. Meanwhile, in Japan, bowing is the polite thing. No handshakes, no hugs, just a respectful bow.
That would save me so much stress. Handshakes, hugs, fist bumps, I never know what to do. A bow sounds perfect.
Then there's tipping. In the US, it's basically required, but in some countries, like Japan, tipping is actually rude. They see it as an insult.
Wait. So, if I leave extra money, they get offended? Wow. In America, if you don't leave extra money, they get offended.
Exactly. That's why it's important to research local traditions before you go.
And don't forget dress codes. For example, in some places like churches, temples, or mosques, you need to cover your shoulders or knees.
Yes, I always carry a scarf when I travel. It's light and it saves you if you suddenly need to be more modest.
Good tip. Meanwhile, I once wore shorts into a cathedral in Italy. Let's just say the security guard's eyes could have burned holes in me.
Oh, David. Another funny difference. Did you know in Bulgaria, when people nod their head up and down, it actually means no?
What? So if I ask, do you like pizza, and they nod, they're rejecting pizza. That's basically a crime.
Yes, confusing, right? That's why you need cultural awareness.
So the golden rule, observe, be respectful, and don't be afraid to ask. Locals usually appreciate when you try, even if you make mistakes.
Exactly. Traveling is about learning, not being perfect. And honestly, cultural surprises often become the funniest stories you'll tell later.
Yes, like me and those snails in France, still not over it.
Never over it. All right, so here's a big question. What if you don't speak the local language?
Easy. You just smile, point at food, and hope for the best.
That's actually not the worst strategy. But seriously, language can feel scary when you travel. The good news? You don't need to be fluent to survive abroad.
Absolutely. These days, we've got apps like Google Translate. I once ordered an entire meal in Spanish just by showing my phone screen to the waiter. He laughed, but hey, it worked.
Yes, translation apps are lifesavers. Some even let you use your camera to read menus or signs. Perfect if you can't tell whether you're about to order chicken soup or boiled octopus.
Oh, I've definitely had mystery meals thanks to language barriers. Let's just say sometimes it's better not to know until after you've eaten.
Exactly. Another tip, learn a few basic words. Hello, thank you, please, excuse me. Even if your pronunciation is terrible, people really appreciate the effort.
And sometimes body language is the universal translator. Pointing, miming, smiling, it works. Once I acted out a chicken in a market just to buy eggs. True story.
Oh my gosh, I would pay to see that. But yes, gestures can help. Just be careful, some hand signs mean different things in different countries.
Right. Like the thumbs up, here it means great, but in some countries, not so great.
Exactly. So, the golden rule is be respectful, patient, and don't be afraid to laugh at yourself.
Yes, because travel is messy. You'll get lost. You'll mispronounce things. You'll order snails instead of pasta, like me.
And those mistakes actually become the best stories. So, don't stress about being perfect.
In other words, speak a little, smile a lot, and let the apps do the rest.
Perfect summary, David. All right, we cannot finish a podcast about travel without talking about the most important part of the trip.
Souvenirs?
No, food.
Ah, yes. Finally, my area of expertise. Forget museums, forget monuments, just show me the food stalls.
Exactly. But here's the question. Do you go for street food or restaurants?
Street food, 100%. Some of the best meals I've ever had cost less than a soda back home. Like in Thailand, I had pad thai from a little cart on the street. It was so good I almost cried.
And let me guess, you went back for a second plate?
Jess, I went back for a third.
That's dedication. But you're right, street food is often the most authentic. It's what locals actually eat every day.
Meanwhile, restaurants, especially in touristy areas, sometimes feel like traps. You pay triple the price for food that tastes like, well, like it came from an airport cafeteria.
Oh, yes, tourist traps are everywhere. If the menu has pictures in 12 different languages, or if the waiter is standing outside begging you to come in, run.
That's a solid rule. Or if the restaurant has a giant sign that says, "We serve pizza, burgers, sushi, tacos, and steak." Like, how is that even possible?
Exactly, pick one, please. But honestly, trying authentic dishes is one of the best parts of travel. You get to taste flavors you'd never experience at home.
Totally. Like when I went to Mexico, I tried real tacos. Not the American fast food kind, but the real deal. Tiny tortillas, fresh salsa, meat cooked right in front of you. My life changed that day.
I can imagine. For me, it was in Morocco. I had tagine, cooked slowly with vegetables and spices. It was so delicious that I didn't even care that I burned my tongue because I was too impatient.
That's the spirit. But okay, let's be real for a second. Street food is amazing, but you also have to be careful.
Yes. Rule number 1, if a stall looks empty and sad, maybe don't eat there. If locals are lining up, that's a good sign it's safe and tasty.
Exactly. And watch how the food is prepared. If the oil looks older than me, maybe skip it.
Great advice. And don't forget about drinks. In some countries, tap water isn't safe, so always check and maybe stick to bottled water.
Or beer. Safer than water in some places.
Only you would say that, David. But seriously, food can make or break your trip. Trying local dishes is not just about eating, it's about experiencing the culture.
Yes, food is basically the language of travel. Even if you don't speak a word of the local language, one bite of the right dish, and suddenly you understand everything.
That's so true. And honestly, eating with locals is even better. Some of my best memories are when families or friends I met invited me to share a home-cooked meal.
Ah, that's beautiful. Meanwhile, I invited myself to share a stranger's fries once.
David, that doesn't count.
Hey, travel is about connection, Jess. Fries are universal.
Okay, fine. But to wrap this up, street food equals authentic, cheap, fun. Restaurants equal nice sometimes, but watch out for tourist traps. And the golden rule, eat like the locals.
Exactly. And if you're lucky, you'll discover a dish that changes your life. Or at least fills your stomach in a magical way.
Which for you is the same thing.
Correct.
All right, David, time for an important topic, safety and health while traveling.
Ah, yes. Because nothing ruins a trip faster than losing your wallet, or your stomach deciding to go on strike after some suspicious chicken.
Exactly. First tip, always have travel insurance. People sometimes skip it because they think, oh, I won't need it. But accidents happen. Lost luggage, missed flights, even broken ankles.
True. I mean, imagine falling off a rental scooter in Bali. Suddenly that $40 insurance looks like the best purchase of your life.
Yes, and vaccinations are another thing. Some countries require them before you enter, especially for diseases like yellow fever.
Yeah, not the kind of souvenir you want to bring back.
Right. And let's talk about scams, because tourists are like magnets for scammers.
Oh yeah, the classic taxi without a meter trick. You ask how much, they smile, and then give you a price that could buy you the actual taxi.
Exactly. Or the free bracelet scam. Someone ties something on your wrist, then demands money.
That happened to me in Paris. I ended up with 3 bracelets and no cash for lunch.
Poor you. But seriously, staying aware is key. Don't flash expensive jewelry, don't keep all your money in one pocket, and always know where your passport is.
Yes. And pro tip, take a fake wallet with a few small bills. If someone tries to scam you, you can hand that over. Meanwhile, your real money stays safe.
Clever. And when it comes to health, drink clean water, wash your hands, carry basic medicine. Even a small stomach bug can ruin your trip.
I always pack painkillers, stomach pills, and Band-Aids. Basically, my suitcase is half clothes, half pharmacy.
Better safe than sorry. And remember, listen to your body. Traveling is exciting, but don't push yourself too hard. Rest, eat well, and stay hydrated.
Right, because collapsing in front of the Eiffel Tower is not the romantic moment you think it will be.
Exactly. So, safety and health may sound boring, but they're the foundation of a happy trip.
Agreed. Take care of yourself first, then you can enjoy all the pizza, street food, and questionable tacos you want.
And on that note, all right, David, before we say goodbye, let's share a quick travel story. Do you have one that's, let's say, funny or maybe a little embarrassing?
Oh, Jess, I've got plenty. But okay, here's one. So I was in Spain, right? And I wanted to impress everyone with my amazing Spanish skills. I walked into a cafe, all confident, and I said, "Quiero zapatos, por favor."
Wait, you asked for shoes in a cafe?
Yes, I wanted soup, sopa, but I said zapatos. The waiter looked at me like, "Sir, this is a restaurant, not a shoe store."
Oh no. Did you at least get your soup in the end?
Yes, after a lot of pointing and laughing from the staff. But hey, lesson learned. Don't let fear stop you from speaking. Even if you mess up, people usually find it funny and charming.
That's a great takeaway for our listeners. Mistakes happen, but they make the journey memorable.
Exactly. What about you, Jess? Any story?
Okay, one time in Italy, I got completely lost in Venice. I thought, no problem, I'll just use Google Maps. But guess what? Google Maps doesn't understand Venetian alleys. I ended up walking in circles for 2 hours.
Classic Venice. So what did you do?
Eventually, I stopped a local woman and asked for directions. She didn't speak English, I didn't speak Italian, but somehow with hand gestures and a lot of pointing, she guided me back. And we both laughed the whole time.
That's awesome. And the moral of the story is sometimes getting lost is part of the adventure.
Yes, so here are our big takeaways for listeners planning their first international trip. Plan, but stay flexible. Pack light, but don't forget essentials. Respect local culture. And most importantly, be ready to laugh at yourself.
Because travel isn't about being perfect. It's about the stories you'll tell later, even if they involve shoes instead of soup.
Exactly.
All right, friends, that's it for today's episode of the English Hub.
We really hope you enjoyed traveling with us, at least in your imagination. And if you did, don't keep it a secret.
Yes, subscribe to the English Hub, like this episode, and share it with your friends. You never know. Maybe they'll invite you on their next trip as a reward.
And we'd love to hear from you. Share your own travel stories, funny moments, or even your dream destinations in the comments below.
Who knows? Maybe your story will inspire our next episode. Or maybe it'll just make me hungry.
Probably both. Thank you for joining us today. Stay curious, stay positive, and don't forget, every trip starts with a single step or a badly pronounced word.
So true. Until next time, safe travels, everyone.
Bye-bye.